What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Fit, Healthy, and most of all happy podcast. I'm your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm on the mic.
And welcome to our podcast. If you're new here, this is Motivation Monday, where we like to start the week off strong. We like to cover some of our favorite quotes, as well as share the number one top-rated community quote, go through our thoughts, what's relevant in the fitness industry, what's on our mind, what things we've been hearing, and we answer your questions. And you're in for a treat today because we have a fantastic episode planned as always, and we just started this new segment of a fan quote, so I think it's only right we start with that. So what do we have this week, Kyle?
So this week we have from Jeremy. He commented, and by the way, the link will be down below for this episode, actually, for YouTube. But he had commented saying, "In the depths of winter, I finally learned that within me there lay an invincible summer." Philosopher and author Albert Camus on resilience. And he said, finishing up that lean bulk, summer shred coming soon, in all caps. And I think it's very applicable, especially with summer coming up, with the summer shred taking place. I think that was an awesome quote, and I'm glad that it was mentioned and the top rated comment for this past Monday episode.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure now of working with Jeremy over a year, and his transformation speaks for itself. He has turned into an absolute savage, and I've loved, and one thing I love about coaching people is helping them gain that confidence and ability to really understand what they can do, that there are no limits, that you are capable of so much more than you thought. And he just continues to evolve, progress, and push himself, which is absolutely fantastic. And we would love to hear your favorite quote so you can be featured on the next Motivation Monday episode. And the way to be entered for that is on our YouTube video of this episode. If you're listening on YouTube, just go to the comments down below, drop that quote, and the one with the most likes is actually going to get shared. So if you see another quote you like, make sure to thumbs it up so there's lots of love in there. But go ahead, enter that down below. And now we're going to jump into my quote, which I actually pulled from a new Jeezy song I heard, and it really made me think. And he said that there's a scarcity of self-awareness right now. And I just had to take a pause because I was like, wow, that's just amazing. And right now I feel like there's a lot of a mirage of self-awareness. There's a lot of self-love, which I think is absolutely fantastic. But I think sometimes that needs to be balanced by saying, what are my weaknesses? Where am I failing? David Goggins loves the point of an accountability mirror, and he said it may be hard to hear if someone says you're overweight and you need to lose weight, and they may be bullying you. It may be not appropriate for them to say, but you need to say to yourself, am I overweight? And if you are, you can say, I'm overweight, but I'm going to change that, or I was overweight. And in that, you announcing that to yourself, you don't have to say that you are that, but you can say, I was overweight, but now I'm not going to be. And you can begin that action and that work to improve. Just the same, if you're having an issue where you mess up on the weekends and you're inconsistent, you can say, I'm inconsistent, but here's what I'm going to do to improve that. And going back to rap, I guess, they always say that there's no L's in life, only lessons. And that's something that's also really stuck with me. It's kind of funny how you can pull such significance from kind of a silly, fun song or something like that. And for me, that self-awareness is saying, what are my weaknesses? What are my strengths? Where can I improve? Where am I not living in alignment with my goals and what I want to do? And how can I change that and do better? And by doing this, it's very freeing because you're not punishing yourself for it, but instead you're having self-awareness to continue to see yourself improve and just progress and do more and more in your journey.
I love that. And I just think it's so important to just spend a little bit of time. And that's why I created my full-on journaling video, which is, by the way, linked down below. And, I did 30 minutes of journaling, 30 days. And I just feel like there's just no better time than just kind of just being with yourself and understanding what's going on. And I think it's just so powerful. So I'm really glad that Josh brought that up. But my quote for this week is, fail to prepare to fail. And I know I've said it a bunch, but it's just something that's been on the top of my head and I'm so passionate about. And especially, I feel like it's so common these days for a lot of people to procrastinate, to wait to the last minute and to put things off. And honestly, like, in my opinion, one of the worst characteristics for a lot of people, and I've been there, right? So that's why I'm going to share this, is just procrastinating, is putting things off, is waiting, is not planning. And I just think there's like so many benefits just to being ahead of schedule. You save so much money, you have so much less stress, and you make so many better decisions. And I think especially as I'm starting to plan things and events, and Josh and myself are obviously planners, but you just notice like the traits of a lot of people where it's just like, oh, I'll wait. And then it's like, oh, that weekend's booked up. We waited too long. It's $1,000 more. Or, even just I can relate this to the fitness journey where when you're preparing your food and you wait until the last second, or you actually aren't preparing at all, you make the worst decisions. You end up spending a lot more because you have to get takeout or DoorDash or all this other stuff. So it's just a good reminder. You're not going to fix things over just right away. But even myself, I actively tried for years and years. Okay, how can I how can I not wait until the last second? Okay, on Sunday, I'll get my planning done here and I'm going to plan things for the week. I'll send some few messages. It goes such a long way. I feel like it's helped my stress so much, and there's so many amazing benefits as I've shared. So fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
Well said. Now we're going to jump into our thoughts and what's relevant in this week. And what do you have, Kyle? Kick it off.
So just a random thing I just want to share, as we're all humans and being fully transparent. The other day, I was definitely feeling a little bit off. Just, I guess you could say, a little bit stressed, overwhelmed. Like, we talk about keystone habits, and it was one of those things where like every little thing just kind of kept adding up, between trying to get my truck fixed, not having a good night's sleep, just as I was trying to film something, constant barking in the background. So I was at my kind of just, I was a bit frustrated. The reason I wanted to share that is because I feel like mentally and physically, like everything is tied in with our fitness journey. Even when my clients check in and they share a little bit more about what's going on in their journey, it's so great to know what's going on, because I feel like we can apply and make changes based off of that situation. And there was a 3-step process that I took to just kind of reverse engineer that and just not have a horrible day. And once again, all of the benefits are physical as well, which is absolutely incredible. So I was going to put off the gym, especially because dealing with some of the things I was dealing with, I had to put it off until later. I said, oh, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. No, I got myself in there. It wasn't a 10 out of 10 workout, but I felt so much better after. Even releasing endorphins is such an incredible feeling if you are ever going through something, or you're stressed, or just something's going on. Something that's actually super beneficial as well is just going into the sauna. So for me, sitting there and having some sort of mindfulness practice, meditation, whatever it is, breathing, I'd say above all. And even I just think the benefits of heat, whether it's a hot tub or sauna, goes such a long way. And then the third thing would just be going for a walk. I felt so much better after. I wasn't like kind of like a blowout day where I think a lot of people say, okay, I'm going to skip the gym. I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to stick to my 2,000 steps, and then I'm just going to have horrible food and whatnot. And this is something that I've actively just tried to work hard on. Okay, if I'm ever dealing with stress, if I'm ever in a situation where things are just a little bit kind of more challenging, what am I actually going to do? What's the game plan for this? And I just want to share that with you. Full transparency, it definitely helped, and just something random that was on the top of my head that I'm passionate about.
Yeah, I always like to say, when you're going through pain, when you're going through uncertainty, when you're going through stress, don't present more of that in your life by doing things that you know are going to make you feel worse, or maybe just something that'll make you feel better in the meantime. If you're like, I'm going to feel better just by stuffing my face with every little bit of junk food I can, you're already feeling uneasy, you're already irritated, you've already had bad sleep, that's going to transition to the next day. And it's important when there's stuff going on, you say, this is just a hard day, it's okay. And you can take a response to that by saying, maybe I will use my rest day and today I won't go. Or you'll say, I know I'm going to feel better getting out, staying in routine, going to the gym. I need to hit this workout. If it's not perfect, I'll give myself that. That's fine. But it can be very freeing just to get done what you need to get done. And you can kind of realign yourself and get back into your flow, get back into your rhythm and on track, which can feel absolutely fantastic. And like Kyle says, when you drop your phone, you're not just going to keep slamming it. You got to pick it up and take care of it. When you need a little bit more time, just be patient with yourself, do those tasks that are going to connect the dots. And I think that is just incredibly well said. And for my thought this week, I just wanted to share that we've been sharing a lot of incredible content on our Instagram. So if you're not following us there, you're missing out. I actually just did a full day of eating yesterday, which was really fun. So you can see the exact foods I'm eating with the macros, as well as I was giving a ton of tips on how to actually weigh food, some of the superfoods I take advantage of every day, some of the micros I'm being aware of, great fiber sources. There's just so much amazing content there. So you can actually find that full day of eating as a highlighted story, which will be nice. And you can also see all the incredible benefit and value on our Instagram in general. We have reels with form tips, with hacks, all these amazing things. If you love our podcast, you're going to love that as well. So make sure you're following us over there. Our Instagram is @ColossusFit. It's linked in the show notes, or you can spell it out @COLOSSUSFIT. The image is very similar to our podcast image, so you can find us there. But now we're going to go ahead and jump into a client who has absolutely been crushing it, who's been doing absolutely fantastic. And we're actually delighted to let people know that we've actually reshared some of our best transformations from the last 60-day shred challenge. We had an incredible shred challenge last year. It was amazing seeing people come into their element. I'm really delighted to say that I've had clients that started their journey there that are still continuing now, stronger than ever at new levels, with tons of new muscle, tons of new confidence, and tons of new ability. And challenges can be good and bad, because some people can go into them, do really hard, and then fade off after. But we've structured ours to be sustainable, to be healthy, to be doable, and to be fun, and that everyone will be able to participate no matter their level of skill. Myself and Kyle are going to be actively doing it, and it works perfect with the calendar year. This year we're starting May 1st, and we'll be finishing right at the end of June, which is perfect to get your physique ready for summer so you can feel your absolute best, look your best in your clothes, have your maximal energy, and just be in a fantastic position. So we still do have early birds pricing for that. We only have a few spots available, but if you're looking to level up your life, your fitness, your health, your happiness, this is the perfect time to get started. And by signing up now, we can get you onboarded early into the coaching system so you can get a head start and a little bit of forward progress towards what you're going to be doing in the challenge. So you'll have that much of a higher chance of winning those up to $5,000 in prizes. Our coaching is guaranteed. You have nothing to lose. So I want to push people to make this jump so they can feel their best this summer. If last summer you said, I'm going to get better by this summer, and you haven't started, this is your chance. What are you waiting for? So go ahead and DM us on the Instagram I just told you about, at ColossusFit, COLOSSUSFIT, saying Summer Shred to take advantage of that early access pricing, as well as a special bonus gift for getting on things early. Because like Kyle said, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Sometimes that's a tongue twister, but this is your chance to prepare for summer, to put your money where your mouth is, and to see that guaranteed change.
Yeah, honestly, I wish some of you were able to see like the planning that goes behind the scenes. Like every conversation between Josh and myself, our coach, is looking at the most successful transformations in the past, trying to figure out how to actually make habits stick. We have different levels, which is going to be awesome because we realize that everyone's striving for different things, right? There's going to be some people who want to go just completely nuts. There's some people who are just looking to be a little bit better, and that's totally fair. And that's what we really, I guess you could say, dislike about other challenges and other programs out there that say, hey, go follow this and that's it. And you have to realize that everyone's situation is so different, and it's something that I think leave a lot of people just wanting to crave crappy food afterward, or just they lose 20 pounds, they gain 30 back. And you can even see on the screen here, Cam, Yong, Phoebe, Courtney, and so many other amazing people who have participated in our challenges, who not only pass the first 60 days, like continuously excel, continuously get great results. And we're so excited. It's something, once again, that we're so passionate about. And we just really hope that you jump on board, because you are not going to want to be on the sidelines for this one.
Summer's seeking up. Like, there's no better feeling than just being ripped for summer, having new lean muscle, showing up to barbecues and have people being like, what routine are you on? What are you doing? And unfortunately, it starts now. Like, as fun it would be to just a week out, get something going, get ready for vacation, get ready for the beach, just not the way it works. And we structure our coaching program about being sustainable for life. And by making this investment, you might say, I don't know if I'm ready to invest. You're not just investing in the initial accelerator we offer. You're investing in learning what actually works well, how to do things right, how to optimize your training for the rest of your life. And that's going to compound for you to help you have better bone density, to help you have better blood work, to help you have more energy, to help you stay leaner, to help you have a better relationship with food. It's going to optimize every area of your life. And we talk about it because we're so confident and so happy with it. And this is literally the perfect time to get started with the challenge, with the prizes, with everything going on. So once again, you can DM Summer Shred to us on Instagram to take advantage of that. And now we're going to jump into the mailbag and answer your questions. And we have some really fun ones. And the first one is, what are the side effects of creatine? So I actually took just a bunch of different questions I've got about creatine. So I have A, B, and C, and then kind of a D. A is going to be 2. And I'm going to break down the side effects of creatine and what you should expect. So the first question I've gotten is, I haven't been able to sleep while taking creatine. Has anyone else experienced this as well, or is it just me? So the thing with creatine is, when you take too much of it and you load, diarrhea and nausea can occur because it's actually very hard on your digestive tract. Once again, with 3 to 5 grams, the recommended dose you're to take, you shouldn't really experience this whatsoever. But people, particularly when they start, they read the bottle, it says load creatine, take 20 to 30 grams of it at once for a week to make sure you load and saturate your muscles. This is an effective practice in theory. You will saturate your muscles faster and reap the benefits of creatine faster, but there's no need to do this. You can saturate your muscles just fine on the 3 to 5 grams, and it's going to be a lot easier on your digestive tract. So the chances are, for this individual, probably taking a huge scoop, or they're hypersensitive to it and it's causing them some digestive issues. Maybe they're taking it right before bed, and that could be impeding their ability to sleep. Digestion is actually a very hard process on the body, and that's why we don't necessarily recommend eating before bed unless you have to, because you'll actually find by cutting off water, you let yourself sleep a little bit better, and it will stop you from having to wake up and interrupt your deep sleep. So in this case, the question of A and B, this should not be happening. It shouldn't affect your sleep at all. There's no studies for this, but there's a chance they are having some digestive issues, which are in turn impacting their sleep. So what I would recommend here, bring that creatine dose down. Start with 3 grams, see if you still get the benefits. I myself am 210 pounds. I only do 4 grams a day. I know some people say, I want a little extra, I'll do 8, 10. There's no need. And I've learned the same hack with laundry. I read online that a lot of us use just way too much detergent. It's unnecessary. It's actually harder on the clothes, and it's just going to help them some more detergent. So even with Tide Pods, I've always used 3 or 4 because I'm like, more the merrier. But I've switched down to 1 or 2 for most of my loads of laundry. 1 for a normal, 2 for a huge one. And I've noticed my clothes are just as clean. My clothes look like they're taking less of a hit. And it's just amazing when you realize these things and you're like, you don't just always need to do more than what you need to do for no reason. Even Kyle filmed a reel today of him doing Bulgarian split squats, saying don't do these, and then he started hitting burpees after, because we just have a tendency to overdo it or need to go instead of doing what we know is effective and necessary. And with creatine, I've never loaded. I've only loaded 1 time. That's because I need to make weight for a powerlifting comp. Then I loaded for a 48-hour weigh-in to try and get the benefits of it, and that was the only time I did it. But in general, it's just not necessary at all. You can cause diarrhea, indigestion, stomach pain, all these different things, so I would avoid that. But by taking a moderate amount, you shouldn't get any of these things. Once again, 3 to 5 grams is more than enough. So that's the question: should you load creatine? The answer is no, it's not necessary. Second question: should it interrupt your sleep? Not at all. The second question, and a big reason a lot of people stay away from creatine, is that there was a study that showed that creatine actually increased DHT. So what's DHT is it's a whole different minefield. We're not even going to get into it, but the increase of this androgen is actually sometimes correlated to loss of hair. So people said, obviously then creatine causes increase of this, it's causing you to lose hair. But this was only found in 1 study, and it has never been able to be replicated, and it was only found in men. So once again, this is an old study. It kind of got really blown up, and then there's a lot of studies disproving it. I've taken all this time, been fine. Long-term studies have shown this isn't a problem at all. So I really wouldn't worry about it at all. And just because it increases this one androgen doesn't mean it's necessarily going to make you lose your hair. That's where science gets interesting. It's so easy to draw parallels, and the clickbait can be creatine causes hair loss when you don't get the full story and you realize, oh, it's just an increase in this one androgen, but all the study participants maintain their hair, and it's just someone drawing a further conclusion without actually backing it from the evidence. So I would say you have no worries here. You can take creatine safely. That is no problem. And then the last and final question is creatine bad for your kidneys? So fun story, even I got my blood work done and my creatine was so high in my system because I'm supplementing with creatine that my doctor's like, this is indicative of kidney failure. I'm like, well, I'm taking creatine, so it makes sense my levels would be high. And he's like, okay, but we got to retest just to be sure. Get off the creatine, then do it. And I retested, everything dropped down super low. I was totally fine. He's like, okay, I thought so, but I was just being safe. So there's an assumption that just because high levels of creatine can be indicative of kidney failure, that creatine could cause kidney failure, but this has not been shown at all. And I'll quote from Examine here so you can get it right from the source. They said, in people with healthy kidneys, long-term creatine supplementation is safe, but there are no long-term creatine studies in people with kidney issues. For these people, using a low dose of creatine, if any, would be prudent. So in this case, if you have significant kidney issues and you want to be safe, maybe stay away. But even so, there are no studies saying that it's actually bad. And just because you're increasing the levels of creatine doesn't mean it's a bad thing. And creatine is a very proven, trusted, incredible supplement that is going to have tons of benefit in general, and it's going to help you get stronger. It's going to help with endurance. It's going to help just with so much. So it is definitely a supplement I recommend taking. Quite simply, in short, 3 to 5 grams a day. You should achieve saturation through that, and within that you can take that at any point in the day. Maybe stay away from it at night, and you can take in your coffee. You can take it hot, cold. It's just very simple. Monohydrate is more than enough. Keep it really simple when it comes to supplementation, but this is one supplement I wholeheartedly believe in, and there are no really prudent side effects from the research I've studied and what's out there today.
Yeah, I'm really glad Josh spent some great time on that, especially because it's 100% in our list of just like the top 3 supplements. And even if you want to get a free guide that Josh actually put together, down below, he spent some great time on just looking through the research, the studies, and what makes the most sense, and like different budgets based off your situation, how long you've been training. You can get that completely free. But it's funny, just like the one small thing, I know Josh had some great info there, was that like so many people think correlation equals causation. Like there's someone out there, let's say, who has some kidney issues, some hair loss or whatever, and they start to just contribute it to that. But it's like, it's there's so many other contributing factors, and that's where a lot of these studies, like Josh said, they'll go for clickbait. They'll just maybe try to just be promoting some other product or whatever it is. You always have to look into like what's actually taking place, and that's why you've come to the right source, because we'll be able to look at these specific things and look at it from a different perspective. Some people out there are trying to market things, some people out there are trying to scare you, the news, like all this other stuff. But that was some great insight. Definitely the top 3 supplements, and make sure to get your free guide, and we'll send that over to you right away.
Yeah, it's totally free from us. We're always trying to give the best content we can, and like I said, I keep my supplementation very simple. So I lay out the science. I say if you should take it based on the budget you have present, and you'll find it's a really helpful little guide, especially with supplementation. We get nothing from it. There's no links to anything, so definitely go ahead, take advantage of that, and you're going to get the benefits. Now we're going to jump into question 2, which is, have you done a podcast where you give tips on what to do when you're lost passion for training? I just feel like I don't have that spark in me anymore.
This is such a great question, and I can from firsthand experience say that I've definitely lost passion in the past. And it's not a great feeling. And I've got a couple different tips that I would personally use, and that's also helped myself. And I'm sure Josh will have some as well. But I think the biggest thing is actually sitting down with yourself, similar to what he was saying about self-awareness, and asking yourself the question, what do I actually enjoy? Like, what is it that I enjoy about the training? Is it maybe more of the cardio aspect? Are you someone who likes hitting PRs and pushing yourself powerlifting wise? And I heard this from a podcast in the past. I remember Dean Graziosi, this high level, I guess you could say, growth guy online. He had said most people know what they don't want versus what they actually do want. And you'll hear so many people, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't want to do that. And then you say, hey, what is it that you actually like? And they're like, oh, wow, like I actually have no idea. So I think just spending a bit of time reflecting on what it is that you enjoy, what brings you value, what brings you happiness. But I kind of have a bit of a different tip that almost contradicts this. And this is something that I've learned over the years, is that I can't say when I go into a strength training workout, of course, I've done a lot of things between a physique show with Josh, multiple powerlifting things. I've done hundreds of different just challenges. And I think for me personally, the challenge is what I strive for, and I absolutely love it. But I can't say that I'm always thinking I need this to be the most fun and most exciting thing. On the top of my head, I'm always thinking of the benefits. Okay, you know what? These split squats, I hate them. They're not fun, but here are 3 benefits that's going to take place from it. These squats that I want to skip. Okay, cool. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to live longer. My bones are going to be healthier. I'm going to just be, I think I've said this, but stronger day to day. And when you think of it that way, and you're not always looking for that next new exciting thing, I find a lot of people struggle because they think their training needs to be that new exciting thing. So when it comes down to it, and you go on Instagram and you see that new exercise, you're like, I'm going to put this in. When you see your friend doing this thing, I'm going to switch it up. And there's nothing wrong with adding in that thing here and there, but I would say definitely sticking to it for more of the benefits versus it being like the most amazing, you're super passionate, you always want to go in there and crush it. And the last thing is just reevaluating your goals and why you want to do it. And I find that when you have that deep why, that understanding of why you're looking to do what you're looking to do, and I think that helps you get into the gym a lot more versus just, I have to do it. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle. I have to strength train, I got to do it, I got to do my cardio. You're going to lose passion that way. So those are my 3 biggest tips.
I also just believe like life's is trolleys. You can be at the top of it. You can just be loving it. Gym can be just super fun. You're healthier than ever. You're hitting PRs. And there can be times you're like, I don't want to be here. I'm not into it. I'm not progressing. I keep getting injured. I keep getting sick. And it can just be so easy to be in that. And that's why when I have clients that are most of the time just absolutely killing it, I always say, remember how great you feel, because if something pops up, know you can get back here. And just the same, like anything in life, even the things you probably love more than anything, like let's say the world's greatest tennis player ever that existed, you've done it your whole life. I'm sure there's been moments where you've hated it and you've like, I don't want to do this and that. And it's just the same with training. If you have an expectation that should always be the most fun, exciting thing ever, it's just not realistic. Like even yesterday, I had to lift a little bit later. I didn't want to do it. I got it done. I felt good. I did. And most days I do feel really good. I enjoy it. It's my time. And I feel fantastic about that, but you have to understand there are days where it's hard. There's weeks where it's really hard. There's some workouts where like, whew, I just had to make it through that one. That was a challenge, but I survived. And you have to understand that that's just the way it works, highs and lows. And in terms of passion, though, I love Kyle's tips for finding that passion, leaning into ways to make it interesting, those strength goals, and doing more activities you enjoy, finding movements you enjoy, finding challenge. If you're not challenging yourself enough in there, it's easy to hate it because it just becomes you going in doing the same thing. But when you have that challenge and you overcome it, you get that dopamine release, you feel fantastic. I always say when you see results, you get addicted. And by constantly progressing, seeing phenomenal results and just seeing your body change, seeing yourself get leaner, more shapely, have other people notice, have more energy, have more muscle, have more ability, be able to lift and be stronger and in control of your body more than you ever thought. It is a fantastic feeling, I can tell you that much. And it's just such a 180, especially from people who don't do any training, have no strength, don't have this confidence, don't have this ability and understanding of the physique. Just so important you take advantage of it. Like I said, I believe last week, Socrates himself said, it's a shame for a man to grow old and never know what his body was capable of. That goes for men and women. You are capable of so much more than you think. Even if you're the smallest, tiniest person. I've had so many girls come in here that are like 100 pounds that end up being absolute beasts. They're lifting most of the guys. They look fantastic. They're strong. They're confident. They can pull themselves up, they can push themselves, they can pull hundreds of pounds, they can squat hundreds of pounds. Like, that's a fantastic feeling. There's no reason to be weak because you can overcome that. You can have a lot of success, especially with the help of a coach. But now we're going to jump into number 3, which is no matter what I do, I can't seem to get past the point of feeling uncomfortable in the gym. I feel like people are always either looking at me or I see people filming, etc., and I can't get past this stage. Any tips or tricks?
This is such a great question, and I'm just going to bring up something that I heard from Alex Hormozi. It was a podcast recently. I think it was an interview with Lewis Howes, and pretty much he'd said, nobody remembers your mistakes as much as you do. Everyone else is too worried about their own mistakes that they're paying attention to. And I feel like this honestly sums up life really well, but also just the gym. And I think like a lot of times when you do have that uncomfortable feeling like someone's either staring at you or thinking something about you, just remember that they are paying attention to themselves and how they look and how they're perceived, and they're wondering if this person sees them doing that amazing weight or whatever it is. And I think like I want the gym to be like such a safe and happy space for every single person. I genuinely think that everyone will see incredible benefits, and it really is like an amazing space to be. Everyone's positive, everyone's uplifting, and of course I will like put an asterisk here. It really depends on the gym. If you go to a hardcore intense bodybuilding gym, it's going to be very different, and you will have that uncomfortable feeling if you're new, if you're just, getting yourself in there. It might be best to work your way up to a gym atmosphere that kind of works within like just helping you feel better and whatnot. But like my biggest thing is just like put your head down, focus on yourself. And I can't stress enough how just like amazing it is, because everyone really is just focusing on themselves. They're doing their own thing. They're not actually thinking, you might be awkward and kind of think people are noticing your mistakes and like you may be doing potentially bad form. And that really is rarely the case. I just wanted to share that with you as someone that's a personal trainer, as someone that's so focused on myself. I'm usually thinking, okay, what am I doing next? What's my next movement? How can I improve? Maybe I'm getting ideas for like form videos, or maybe I'm getting some like topic ideas that will make for Instagram or something like that. But I'm never thinking, and here's the thing, another asterisk I will say is there will be like probably 1 out of every 20 people who unfortunately do ruin the gym atmosphere. It's a shared space, stuff like that. But just notice most people there are the same goals, same focuses. They're all looking to improve, be better, be stronger, live healthier. And it's an amazing space for everybody. And I just wanted to share that with you today.
Yeah, even just going into interactions in the gym by not being combative, even if someone's being like ridiculous. Like even today I wanted to use a bench. There was 2 benches. The one lady was using the one and she had all of her stuff on the other. But all the time we all do it. I don't know why. And it was funny because I said, hey, is it cool if I use one of these 2? And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't even know why I did that. Or I put all my stuff there. And I'm like, it's totally cool. I do it too. It's just like a habit to load all your stuff on the bench, like when you could just put it on the floor. But she was totally nice about it. I've done the same thing. And that's why like if I came in, I'm like, do you really need 2 benches? You're going to it's going to be a horrible atmosphere. You're not going to like anyone. And you'll see, like, I swear 99% of people in the gym are freaking awesome and the nicest ever. There's the odd time you'll get someone really weird. Like we've had a few interesting situations, but the sum is so much better than the parts. And it's awesome too, because sometimes even a discussion like that, like now I'm sure I'll wave to that person every time I see them or smile at someone, or you'll have a little small talk. And it's just awesome being around people that are in there at the same time, that want to get fired up, that want to see results. And you'll find you get more and more comfortable with it. And just the same, I always say most people are focused on themselves. And at the same time, it's a good thing. Like you shouldn't need to be overly focused on what other people do. If someone has horrible form and you don't feel it's your place to help them, that's fine. Let them do what they're doing. If someone's being a little bit ridiculous, just phase it out, focus on you, work around it. You can always communicate. You can always talk fairly. Like, do you need to use this? Things like that. And you'll find it does become a really positive atmosphere to be in. It is a learning curve. It's like anything new, any new situation, any dynamic. It definitely does take a second, but as you get through it, you'll find it normalizes and you feel good and you get more and more comfortable. And now I know it is funny, like especially in more of the hype gyms, everyone is filming everything all the time and it's a little bit crazy, but even so, like you can just kind of walk around it, see where it's pointing, or you can walk through it if it's in a dumb place, because I mean that's kind of something that's going on, and we film too, so we get it. But at the end of the day, the gym is to be used, and but at the same time too, like you don't want to be in the background of something doing something silly, because sometimes that'll catch it. But case in point, I don't even know where I'm going, but there's no need to overthink it. Just get in there, you'll find what's comfortable for you. Some gyms are more lively and more modern, everyone's filming and vlogging. Some are like dungeons where none of that's going on. There's women's only gyms, there's more orientated gyms to certain styles of training. Like you can get so many different types of atmosphere. Like sometimes some of the YMCAs can be mainly older people. Sometimes you can go to student gyms where it's all really young, lively, kind of crazy, that atmosphere, if that's what you like. And you need to find a gym that does fit your style, because there are some gyms where I know some people should absolutely not go because they just will not align. So that's where it's good to play around and find what really works best for you as well.
Yeah, and I just got two thoughts there from, just Josh speaking there and saying some great insight and everything. And, the first thing I was just going to say is like, I look around a lot, and it's something where I think some people, they think that someone's looking, but it's usually just to try to stay off my phone, and to even just, I get so much inspiration from seeing other people there. Like I kid you not, seeing that one, girl just always crushing it. She has one arm, just putting in work. You may see someone and just be like, oh, they're looking at me. I'm thinking that's freaking awesome. Like that is amazing. I see someone just putting in 2 plates on the bench. I see people hitting PRs. Like there's just so much great stuff that takes place there. And right where some people be like, oh, they're looking at me, it's a little uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, like it's just, there's so many amazing benefits that come from that. And the other thing I was also going to share is I truly believe you need to keep pushing past that point where it is uncomfortable to be able to make it comfortable. So I think where some people struggle is they'll go in once, they'll get a little uncomfortable. I'm just going to stay away. I don't love it. But if you keep showing up, there's a certain point, there's a certain threshold where it's just like, oh, I'm getting used to this. And that's where some people struggle, is just that constant one day this week, then next week I'm going to try again. And it's just a constant battle of up, down. Whereas the people who just keep showing up, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how tough, no matter how challenging, I'm going to do this for a full month. Next month comes, they're like, wow, it's all right. It's not that bad. So I just want to share that was my last tip for this amazing question.
All right, so to recap, we have a free supplement guide. That is the second link you can go ahead and grab by just pressing down below. We have our Instagram there. If you're not following, you are missing out. And you can get access to our Summer Shred Challenge with up to $5,000 of prizes with your transformation guaranteed down below as well by following our Instagram and messaging us saying Summer Shred. So we look forward to those of you who are serious enough to get out there, to see that change, to make that jump, to be in line with what they want to do. And we look forward to connecting with you. Thank you everyone for listening to today's episode. We hope you learned a lot. Feel free to ask us questions as well through Instagram. Share this episode if you loved it. It really means the world when we see those shares, when we get messages saying that you love the podcast or the impact it's had in your life, and it motivates us to keep doing bigger and better episodes. So thank you so much, all of you. Have a fantastic week. Peace out.